my gosh, please tell me that just recorded. On this week's episode of I Haven't Washed My Hair for 6 days. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, it's just gonna be a kind of like discussion video. I very much regret not making this video before I posted my winter skincare video because this video is just gonna break down the basics. Really, it's just gonna be like the basic key points of skincare. If you caught my last video, it was my winter skincare routine video, and I realized after I uploaded it that I really should have made a more basic skincare video. And I mean, skincare really isn't a basic thing, but you can generalize some areas of skincare just to kind of get a little bit easier of a grasp of how you should be maintaining your skin. So this video is just going to be like the very basic tips when it comes to at-home skincare. I really want to keep this video as simple as possible, so I narrowed it down to 4 basic tips. We're just going to go ahead and dive into it. Number 1, super important, you need to determine your skin type. And there are about 5 different skin types. Some people would argue that there's 6. It really just, 5 or 6 doesn't really matter. I consider there to be six different skin types. I'm gonna go ahead and list those off for you and just tell you like some ways that you can determine what your skin type is. So the first skin type would be normal. It's smooth texture, minimal pores, maybe like a tiny bit of dryness and a little bit oily in the T-zone. Generally, people who have normal skin don't have any skin issues. You're not too oily, you're not too dry, you're not super sensitive to any kind of products. It's not very common. Generally, people have some type of skin issue, but there are people out there who don't have any skin issues. So if you are a normal skin type, you are very lucky. Next would be dry skin or very dry skin. Very dry skin, it just feels really tight after washing it. You know, you get pretty flaky all over, and you can be pretty sensitive too and see some redness in the cheeks. Generally, people who are really dry, you know, you wanna make sure that you stay away from things like caffeine, soda, alcohol, things like that, because those can really dry you out as well. Oily skin is very common. It's where you are very oily in your T-zone very early in the day. Usually you see oil in your skin before noon. People with oily skin generally have larger pores, generally like it, you know, on the forehead, chin, cheeks. Now, combination skin is a very tricky skin type to treat because you are both oily and you're both dry. So generally you'll see oil in your T-zone and maybe some dryness in the cheeks. I unfortunately am combination. I feel like I lean more towards the drier side. So with that, I try to drink more water, drink less coffee, and I don't really drink a lot of alcohol. So I will use oils on my skin as well. Now you can be combination and kind of leaning more towards the oily side, and that's when you'd want to stay away from oils on the skin. Generally with combination skin, you'll start to see oils coming through the surface probably like sometime around noon or a little bit after. The next skin type would be sensitive skin. Sensitive skin is generally very red. You can range from dry to oily. So there's an argument there that, you know, sensitive isn't really a skin type, that you can be other skin types and be sensitive, which is true, but I have met people who have no breakouts, you know, you don't see any kind of flakiness, and they do have very sensitive skin. You'll notice redness very quickly. You know, if you get waxed, you get red very easily. You're very sensitive to things with scents or anything with alcohol in it. You are also obviously very prone to blotchiness and itchiness as well. With sensitive skin, you want to avoid any products that have scent and alcohol, and honestly, that's a good general rule of thumb. No matter what skin type you are, if there's any kind of scent or alcohol, it's gonna dry you out. So it's always good to just kind of stay away from products like that. And lastly, for skin types is acneic. Acneic is where you have very painful, very common cystic acne. It's usually all over the face. It's not just in one general area, and it's very hard to get rid of. If you feel like you are acneic type, you are gonna wanna go see a dermatologist and they will treat you as recommended. Okay, so number 2, now that you have determined your skin type, you are going to be picking your products based on your skin type. Now, if you are dry, but you're using something that's meant for somebody with oily skin, it's gonna dry you out. It's not gonna work for your skin type. So this is why it's very important to determine your skin type before going out and buying products. So for normal skin, you're usually gonna wanna use maybe just like a basic foaming cleanser or a gel cleanser. Really, you're not sensitive to many products. You know, you're gonna want a basic skincare routine. So cleanser, toner, every once in a while an exfoliator, and then moisturizer and sunscreen. Now for dry skin, you're gonna wanna stick with hydrating products. Anything that is scentless and alcohol-free, those are gonna be better for your skin. Usually that's gonna be an oil cleanser or a cream cleanser. Those are gonna be very delicate in those drier areas. For oily skin, you're gonna wanna use more gel and foaming cleansers. Those will really help to keep your oil at bay and really just cleanse away that excess oil. Now because you are oily, you are gonna keep producing those oils. Oils are great for the skin, but you know, too much oil can leave you looking really shiny, it can cause breakouts. Now with combination skin, like I said before, this can be really tricky. So for me, I'm combination. I do use a gel cleanser, but it is oil-free, it is scentless, it is alcohol-free, it is paraben-free, it has hyaluronic acid in it. So I kind of get the best of both worlds with that. And that product I did have in my winter skincare routine. It was from Neutrogena. It was the Hydra Boost cleanser. Every once in a while I use a cream cleanser from Murad, and it's just their basic cleansing cream cleanser. And I don't use that too often because I find that if I use it too much, I can start to break out a little bit because it is very hydrating. And then with that, I do use hyaluronic acid at night, but I won't use it during the day because I produce more oils during the day when I'm, you know, sweating, running around and eating, things like that. So basically, when it comes to combination skin, you wanna pick and choose products based on what your trouble areas are. So like I will use my hyaluronic acid on my cheeks and on my chin where I can get really, really dry. And then I also use an oil at night after I put on my moisturizer and everything, but I won't put the oils on where I get really oily, so I won't put it on my T-zone. And then for the last two skin types, so for sensitive and acneic skin, I really do recommend seeing a dermatologist for what products you should be using, just because they're obviously gonna know what's best for you. They are professionals. So really important to get a good dermatologist to help you with those skin troubles. Okay, so tip number 3, less is more. Piling on the products isn't always going to be the best for your skin, but rotating products never hurts as long as it's within moderation. So like you don't wanna be using a brand new product every day. I don't even recommend using a brand new product every single week, and you don't wanna be piling on brand new products. For myself personally, I use a cleanser, and then based on what time of month it is, I will sometimes use a different cleanser for 1 week to help with breakouts. And then I will use one treatment, my moisturizer, and then an oil. So that right there is 5 products. Even then, that's kind of a bit. Hey guys, I'm just editing this video right now, and I just realized that when I was filming this specific part, I had in mind that when I said 5, that included my cleanser, a treatment, my acne treatment, moisturizer, and an oil. So I realized that when I was filming, I was thinking that in my head, so that's 5, but I only said 3 in the video, so. But I only use all 5 of those at night. I do not use all 5 of those during the day. I will generally, in the morning, just use my cleanser and then my moisturizer and of course sunscreen. If you have all these products piling on, that could cause more breakouts. On the other hand, rotating products is going to be good because your skin will build a tolerance to these products. So if you're using the same product for like 6 months, eventually you're going to see it stop working because it's just not as effective. You're using it every day. You're using it for so long. So that's why I say rotating in moderation is always good. I'll usually rotate my products every 1 to 2 months. And with how much of a particular product you use, you really don't need a ton of every single product. I think the most that I use of any product is gonna be my cleanser, and then really not a ton of moisturizer, and you don't wanna pile on the treatments either. Again, with those, less is more. I'll go ahead and insert an idea right here of how much product you should really only need to be using. And then number 4, and my last tip, these are really just going to be basic things to use for your actual routine. So like this is what I do that I feel like completely changes my skincare game. So first thing, always wash your hands before going in to touch your face. And that means like even when you're doing your makeup, but especially like before you start cleansing and touching your face, make sure you have clean hands. Always wash your hands with warm soap and water. And also use a new towel every single day. You'd be surprised how much bacteria can actually transfer onto that towel, especially if you leave it out in your bathroom. There's so much bacteria in our bathrooms. So I use a fresh new towel every morning and every night. Next, make sure that you're using mildly warm water. You don't want to use anything too hot because that will dry out the skin, and using anything too cold won't kill off any of that bacteria. So make sure that it's just mildly warm. I know for me, I love scorching hot showers, so I have to be really careful when I am taking really hot showers to make sure that I'm not getting too much of that water on my face, because I do see such a big difference. As someone who's more on the dry side, it does dry out my cheeks so much. And this next one, I know this is probably really redundant. You probably hear a lot of people say it. You hear doctors, your dermatologists, your teachers, your parents, everybody saying this. Drink as much water as you can, or as much water as you need based on your weight. I notice a big difference in my skin if I'm drinking a bunch of coffee throughout the day and I forget to drink water. I will dry out so quickly. And even just like one day of drinking the amount of water that I'm supposed to get in, it's amazing how much clearer and how much I glow after drinking so much water. It really does make a huge difference. And drink as much water no matter what skin type you are. Water is so good for your skin and is so good for your body. And lastly, no matter what skin type you are, find a sunscreen that is best for your skin type. Wear sunscreen every day, even if it's foggy. If it's raining out, I will still put sunscreen on my face and on my hands. Okay, guys, well, that's it for this video. Those are my super basic general skincare tips. A lot of these tips don't even require you to go and buy anything. I really hope that this helps you out, gives you like a little bit basic understanding of what we should be doing for our skin. I'm hoping to have more videos that like dive into specifics. So I'm thinking about doing moisturizers, cleansers, definitely going to be diving into treatments for the skin, because that can be really tricky. This video, a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you want to see more, and please subscribe. I am going to do my best to bring more videos to you. I say that every video, but I'm working on it.